What's up, guys? Patrick from wpbuilderhelper here again with a very special video for you. So a bunch of people keep asking me in all of my videos, what do you think of this builder over this builder? And these tier ranking lists have been very popular lately. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to take all of the builders and I wanted to pit them against each other, and I wanted to work through them and kind of go over some of the details of why a certain builder is a rank over another one. Keep in mind, these are all my own opinions, so you can take it or leave it. I'm going to have some background things that I go into, like I'm going to actually visit the builders pages and everything like that. But before we start, I want to mention that this is, once again, this is all subjective. So these are my rankings that I feel these builders are. You could choose to put your rankings in any way that you want, but this is how I feel today based upon what these builders have done in the last couple months to years and based upon everything that we go at. So I want to start off by saying some of these builders I did not even touch. Okay, like Beaver Builder, as you know, I don't have a license to it. I'm not sure if you do know or not, but oh, wait, hold on. Let me move these. I'm sorry. Let me clip that out. Be right back. All right, so let's try that again. Sorry, so I'm in Affinity and I was unfortunately trying to adjust this so that you didn't have to see everything. So Beaver Builder, as I was saying before, I don't have a license to. I've never had a license to it, but I do know a good bit about it. And Beaver Builder was one of those builders that I think that people liked. So starting off, let's start off with Beaver Builder. So every builder I think deserves at least a C grade, so I put them in C to begin with. But let's start off with Beaver Builder. So I'm going to switch real quick and let's go to Beaver Builder's website and I'll take you on a little guided tour of Beaver Builder. So Beaver Builder works much in the same way as, kind of similar, it reminds me of Visual Composer a lot. Even though Visual Composer doesn't really look like that anymore, it still has a lot of the interface of Visual Composer. But the thing is with Beaver Builder is a long time ago, they came out with their own little theme builder, and their theme builder I think was one of the first, if not one of the original theme builders to come out. But the thing about it is, in order to take and get the builder itself, like you get the builder, you don't get it with a standard license. Like you can see the Beaver Builder theme is not there. You only get it with Pro, which is $200. And so for me, their cost to effectiveness ratio is not as high. With that said, Beaver Builder has a large number of people that follow it. So for me, I think it's a solid B. I don't think I would give it an A, and you'll see why later on. A and S are really, I mean, S for sure is something that's almost flawless in some ways. And I definitely don't think that a lot of these are flawless, but I think that a couple of them get close to it. But they're still not flawless. But Beaver Builder is definitely a B for me. I don't think it's a bad builder by any means. I think from what I've seen, from how it works, and from their pricing, I don't think it's bad, but it's another builder that doesn't have a lifetime license. I don't think they give out very many discounts from what I've seen, and there's really just no way to get into it. It does have white labeling, which is kind of nice, which means that you can hide the fact that the website is a Beaver Builder, it's a Beaver Builder theme and all of that, and so your clients don't have to know that it's built with Beaver Builder. So, it's okay. I haven't reached out to them to ask them for a demo. I did ask the next people for a demo, and they said no. So the next one is actually Thrive. I'm not actually going in this order, so sorry about that. The next one is Thrive, and Thrive Themes to me is I don't know where to put this. In all honesty, I think it's a C. I definitely think it's a C, and I'll tell you why I think it's a C. Number one, Beaver Builder, at least, the reason why I give them a solid B, if not an A to some people, is because Beaver Builder had the theme builder already done. Thrive Themes just came out with their brand new, if you go to their products, they just came out with their brand new theme builder. This was just released. Now, I do think that their their membership or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you would call this whole back end, because the whole back end of stuff that they do, I'm sure it works for some people, but Thrive was originally built to be a page builder that competed with ConvertKit, from what I understand. I could be wrong about that. Don't hold that to the thing, but that's what I thought. I thought it was something for ConvertKit, but they kind of did the same thing. They went with a theme builder, but you have to use Shapeshift to allow you to build unique WordPress websites. So you'll notice both of these require like a theme in order to get extra functionality out of it. I really, really, really think that puts some of these builders at a disadvantage with other builders later on, and we're going to talk about that. But for right now, I just want you to realize that is to me, it's a negative. You're forcing someone to use a theme that they might not want to use. And while I understand it expands functionality, it can be a bit of a pain to take and get past the fact that maybe there's a certain theme that you want to use just because you like that theme, but you don't like the amount of customization that's in it. Some great themes that I could think of are themes like Astra and Oceans WP and a bunch of other ones that have just a great amount of options. Genesis and GP and all of these other themes that just have great amount of option. But some people just want to expand that functionality just a little bit further. Well, with this, if you're using the Thrive Theme Builder, guess what? Most likely, if Shapeshift isn't your theme, you're not going to have all the functionality of the theme building. And I think that's the same way for Beaver Builder. I can't be 100% certain, so don't hold my hand to it. But I think that's just a real negative for it. The other thing that really makes me aggravated with these guys above everybody else is the fact that they have they try and sell you into this, like, buy all of our products, get a membership. It's almost like Divi when Divi first came out, but unlike Divi, they're really focused on you becoming a member. As a matter of fact, when I had asked for a demo of their, I asked for, just give me a day, let me see this, give me a limited time license so I can see what the theme builder's about. The guy basically gave me a Thrive's theme membership and then just said, no, we don't give out the demos for free. It is what it is. And I said, that's fine. I get it. I understand. But they really just want you to become a member. This is all just about you becoming a member of their annual membership. And when you take and you look at this, you realize, oh my God, like, this is crazy. They only give you 25. You only have 25 installs. This one only has 50. That is just nuts. And then when you add up the price of this per year, so let's add up the price of this just so you can compare it, because we saw Beaver Builder is about $200 if you want all of the functionality. And this is $228 per year that you have to pay for this. So in terms of the value, it loses some points in terms of the value. And I should have mentioned Beaver Builder follows the same thing. You constantly have to renew this if you want to get the updates and stuff like that. So they lose points. So I feel pretty secure that this needs to be in the C class. I think it's a C class builder. I don't think it's a A. As a matter of fact, technically speaking, I think it should lose points just because of the fact that it just came out with the theme builder almost 2 years later when almost everybody else has a theme builder. This has a theme builder in it. This has a theme builder in it. This has a theme builder in it. This is almost going to have a theme builder. This has a theme builder. I don't think this has a theme builder yet. But all the rest of these have theme builders. So you're just coming out now? Yeah. Now that I think about it, guess what? You're a D. You're definitely a D. There's no way that you're even C class. You're D class. Anyone who uses Thrive, I'm sure that offends you, but I'm sorry. I just don't see the value in it. It's too much money. It's way too much money for somebody who wants a builder. So let's jump on and we'll go to Brizy here. Brizy is, I think, one of the most underrated builders out there. There's a lot of stuff Brizy has going for it. Brizy's got one of the best UIs I have ever seen out of any of the other builders on the list. It is my favorite UI. It's very lightweight. It's a very good builder. It's not a bad builder. It's got some bugs here and now, bugs here and there. There's some functionality that has not yet to be developed for it, but I still think it's just a solid builder. There's just so many reasons to take and go with this builder, and they even have the lifetime licenses, which are slowly dwindling away. I would recommend that if you really like this builder and you don't need something that's got more coding functionality, if you're not more of a hard coder, you're someone who likes visual things, you look at Brizy. Brizy's definitely one of it because it comes with all of this access. And I think for the value of your buck, yes, this is $2.99, but this is one time. And it comes with white label, it comes with lifetime supports, it comes with one-time payment. I mean, it's just a good builder. It still doesn't have full functionality for theme building yet. It's there, but it's not as good as some of the other builders that we're going to talk about later. So for me, Brizy definitely would have started out in C class, but when you start looking at all the options, it definitely comes up to B class. And then when you start looking at what it could possibly be, I think that it could move into A and even possibly S later on down the road, depending on what happens with it. I need to see. There have been some hiccups in the road. There have been some things that people are getting frustrated with because there's not a lot of functionality with WooCommerce. There's not a, I mean, it's there, but it's not good. It's just not there yet. But it's definitely not something I would give up on. You know, like I said, I think there are some people who would probably put this in A, just like Beaver Builder. I think it's an A. I don't think it's S. There's no way you can call this S yet. It's just not there yet to be S. But that's where I put it. I still like it. Anything that I consider anything above a C to me is a good builder. It is. The things that are lower than that, and there are very few reasons why they're lower than that, I just wouldn't put them on any other scale. B class is still good. It's just not, it's not great. It needs something to push it off the cliff. And I think that there's things coming. We know the header and footer builder with conditions are coming. I think that could turn it into an A. There's lots that they've been doing with updates and stuff like that. And the updates from the team are really, really solid. I enjoy the updates from the team. So I think for right now I give it a B, but this is definitely one that I would consider. So let's look. Let's say you're not going for this, right? Let's say you are going for the yearly. Well, if you look at the yearly, it's $99 for unlimited sites. Hello. This is $200 for 25. This is $200 for unlimited. Yes, but you have to buy $200 and you've got to use their theme. These guys are not doing that. And let me move this over. Let's just do it like that. These guys are not doing it with their theme. You can use whatever theme you want to. That's the beautiful thing about Brizy. I like it. Plus, it comes with cloud access, which means that if you ever don't want to work on WordPress, this is probably the place for you. I mean, it's probably the one that you want. It's decent. And if you didn't want to take and jump in and you wanted to do more personal sites, then the $49 package isn't a bad thing either. I mean, there's so many options with this. I just really enjoy this. I think that it's a decent builder to me. It's just once again my opinion. It's where I think it falls. I definitely think it's a B. I think there are more things that could turn it into an A. They haven't come out yet, but it's coming. So then we go to Divi. Divi is a love-hate relationship. I would love to say that I love Divi, and I love to hate on Divi. People know that just from my post. Divi has got I'll be honest, it has got one of the best pricing schemes that I've ever seen, because you pay $249 and you have unlimited access to all of their stuff, unlimited web usage, unlimited updates, hundreds of website packs, all of their inclusive stuff. So it's almost like they have the membership portion, because you can pay $89 and get access to each one of these, and it's, you know, unlimited too, but it's yearly, or you could pay this and get it one-time fee. Divi has managed to keep the lifetime license this whole entire time that they've been around. The biggest complaint about Divi has been some of the bloat with it, I think. And they've made changes to make it so bloat-free, which, by the way, if you think that this is Divi, Divi's going to lose some points here. So I'm about to bring this up. So Divi's a C right now, okay? But Divi loses points, it goes down to D, and I'm going to elaborate on that for right now. But it goes down to D because this isn't a site developed by Divi. They apparently have said that the website could not be developed with Divi because they used an older technology, and it just doesn't make sense. That's terrible. That is like selling a Toyota and then giving someone a Ford. It just doesn't make any sense. You're selling two different products. If Divi was so great, then you should be building your home pages based off of it. It's just every other builder, I'm pretty sure even Thrive and Beaver Builder and even Brizy, they're all built with their builders. So the fact that Divi's the only one on this list that doesn't have that is just ridiculous. Another thing that really, really hurts Divi is they have had a number of big security patch issues. There's been a number of people hacking into their stuff. So I think, to me, Divi loses some points for that because people are finding hacks into their stuff. Don't freak out just yet. Don't say, hey, wait a second, you're giving Thrive a D and Brizy an E. Divi an E. Not yet. However, with that said, with the updates and the security patches and all the negatives, Divi has done a lot of stuff that has been excellent. They've ramped up production, trying to make it to where it's a more faster, better experience with tons of different options. So for that, it comes back up to D. Then you have to think they also have a theme builder. Now, once again, it's a theme builder with their theme, but it happens to work very good. So to me, they had that. It came out, it was good. It wasn't behind this, it didn't come out years later. It didn't come out as fast as some of these other ones, but it was still out and it worked and everything like that. So I give them that. The thing that bumps them up to, God, I don't think I can give Divi a B. I really don't. I'd love to give it a B, but I don't think I can give it a B. I think that there's some people who are going to say that it's A or S, and I just don't see it. I really just don't see it. There's a lot of options for Divi. I guess I have to give it a... I can't give it a B. I just can't give it a B. It's a C. It's a C-class builder. It's not bad. It's not good. There's lots of things wrong with Divi, and there's lots of things right with Divi. Divi has one of the most intuitive... Divi is so intense that if you gave it to a client today and they had to play with it, they could learn it, but it would take them so long to learn it that they would have to call you and get help learning Divi and trying to figure out what to do because it's that intuitive. There are so many options that there's search functionality inside of Divi. It's one of the most, I would say, it's a great experience when you're used to it, and it's terrible when you're not, because it is very hard to get used to it if you don't use it. If I jumped into it today, I would be total garbage at Divi because I haven't played with it in so long. And if someone else had been using it on a daily basis, they would fly through making things happen because it has got the functionality of some other builders like Oxygen and stuff like that. But I mean, it's got every option you can think of. Unfortunately, that has led to a horrible amount of bloat. It's led to loopholes in their system, which leads to security patch updates. It's led to just all kinds of things that's just really, really bad. So I can't give it anything above a C. I just can't. I'd love to. And if they were to get their security in check and they were to get some of that in check, I think I could give it definitely a B or an A. But I think for right now, it's a C. There's some things they need to do to fix it, to make it better. They've come out with a lot of different options, though. I'm really torn here because I feel like it's a B. I definitely feel like it's a B. I feel like it's less of a C, more of a B. So maybe it falls somewhere in between. It's definitely not lower on the list. It's got a lot of options. It's got a lot of support. It's got a great community that's out there. It's got a lot of stuff behind it. And just that in itself should turn it into a B or an A, but I just can't, because for me, it's not a B or an A. For me, it's a C. It's just that kind of experience that it just makes you frustrated. I think it's to me, I really think it's a C. That's just what I feel. So then we have Elementor. So I'm not sure if you know, but Divi and Elementor are. Did I even add? I did not add Elementor to the list. I am sorry, Elementor. So Elementor is definitely. It's hard. I hate to give it the ranking that I'm going to give it, but I'm going to tell you right now, Elementor is one of the better page builders that's out there. I just can't give it anything. It started out as a C. They have had great updates. That moved it up to a B. Then they came out with this amazing feature that is in no other builder that is called the, oh, I can't remember the name of it. It's like called the Finder, where it allows you to literally go through your page. Like basically you can stay inside of Elementor. I've asked for it in Oxygen, and some of the other builders really need to get it because basically it forces it to where you don't have to go into the back end and do anything crazy with the back end. You could just stay in Elementor and never have to touch anything. It'll take you to whatever you need. It was a genius thing, and I love it. I love it so much. Elementor has added so many different options to it that really, in all honesty, it should have moved up to an S. It should have. But let me tell you why it's not an S. It's not an S because, unfortunately, Elementor later on last year, I believe, I can't remember the actual date, they changed their pricing scheme, and this was sad. I think there was a lot of people who really liked Elementor's pricing scheme before. This used to be unlimited. This is one site and 3 sites. I just can't get behind. Their pricing scheme is not bad, but once again, it's per year. So you're constantly paying them per year a subscription fee. And once again, if we go to at least Brizy's offering it, Oxygen offers it, a bunch of the other builders offer it occasionally, but at least they're, the one thing that gives Divi, and once again, probably one of the reasons that it should go up, one of the reasons why is it has this bottom line pricing, and they don't really discount this too often. But when they do, you can get a great deal on Divi, a deal that's much, much better than Elementor. I mean, $200 per year for 1,000 sites. And I get it. I know what they found. They found that most people do not use that many sites. So I totally understand why they chose to limit it. But I think what's bothering me is not the 1,000 sites. What bothers me are these two. One site, $49. 3 sites, $99. I just can't get behind that. I feel like the middle one needs to be 10 sites. It used to be 10 sites back in the day. It was not 3 sites. It was like 10 sites or maybe 5 sites. I cannot exactly remember, but I know it was more than 3 sites. But regardless, Elementor's got a WooCommerce builder. It's still not as good as Oxygen. It's got a pop-up builder. It's got the Finder. That Finder is amazing. If you've never played with Elementor's Finder, you need to. Try it out and play with it. It's totally worth it. But they've also had security problems. So for me, with pricing and the security, which you can't say that that's their fault, but unfortunately, it's just how popular they are, I think it drops it to an A. It's just not, it's not an S to me. It's just not there yet. I think their pricing scheme, it's just way too in your face. It's like, oh, we're the most popular builder, so we can charge what we want. But there's all these builders that are offering lifetime licenses, and it's like, why can't you guys offer a lifetime license? Why can't you offer a lifetime license? If someone wants Elementor for one website, here's an idea. Charge a lifetime license for that one website, but at least give people the option. If I want to pay $200 or $300 for one website for a lifetime license, isn't it worth it for you to take that money? I get that you don't want to give me 1,000 websites, but give me one for $300, $400. That way I don't have to keep paying you, because it's actually kind of crazy that you think that somebody's going to keep paying you $50 a year. That's nuts. This gets into the level of hosting, and I get that you could make way more money off of that. That's not my point. My point is that when you look at markets have this thing called the I can't remember the name of it, but it's a theory that when one person does one thing, then everybody else has to step up their game. For instance, there are more theme builders out now, so when you don't have a theme builder, you just look like a dope. You just look like a product that's garbage. And So that's why I had given Thrive such a low thing, because they just came out with their theme builder. Well, all these other ones already have a theme builder. And Elementor's had their theme builder for quite some time, over 2 years. So this is just a joke. Like, to me, they need to be realistic with the pricing. And they also just got some VC capital that came through, and we've yet to see what that capital's there for other than expanding their marketing. I mean, I don't know a lot about Elementor. I like Elementor. I like the guys behind it. I think it's a good builder. I definitely think it deserves an A on our list. I mean, I can't give it an S, but I think it deserves an A. It's definitely worth an A. It's a great builder. No doubt it's a great builder. To me, it is what it is. So let's continue. So next on our list is Live Canvas. This is a brand new one, and I had talked about this in some of my videos. Some of you have probably never heard of this, but what it is it's this builder that kind of works a little bit differently. It's kind of like a cross between like Dreamweaver and Oxygen, where Oxygen is this lightweight theme builder that can take and that can do all this stuff. This is another one. It's another lightweight theme builder, and it's got a decent pricing scheme. It's got a lifetime pricing for $199, unlimited websites, $79 for a year, unlimited websites. The pricing scheme on this is great. I think the pricing scheme is where this really shines, because it's got a realistic pricing scheme. It knows it's up against better builders that are out there, and so for that, I think you take Live Canvas and you give it like it starts off at something like maybe a C, but then the pricing brings it to a B. And then when you take and you look at the fact that it's got some built-in functionality for theme building, you go, wow, so you can theme build with this. However, this is where it gets funny. So the theme building, we bump it up to like an A. That seems unfair because this is not the same as this. So it's definitely not an A. But the theme building is incomplete, unfortunately. And once again, the theme requires custom strap, which uses, I think, understrap or something like that. Not a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing. But unfortunately, there's some limited functionality here too. You can design footers. You cannot design headers yet. The headers are coming. They have told me they are coming. This is one of the builders that I think you just need to keep an eye on. I think it's definitely worth it just based upon their price. And they've even got this stay at home 40% on all their plans. I mean, they've got some great stuff. This is just, the pricing is really, really great. I can't recommend this enough. I think this is going to turn into one of those builders that you wish you would have jumped on earlier and you just didn't see it. It's got a feel of almost like Oxygen, but it also feels a little bit like Brizy, which is just different because it allows you to custom code. I would warn that you do not pick up this builder unless you at least know how to do some custom coding, like just some basic custom coding, because otherwise you're not going to get all the functionality out of it that someone who knows how to custom code is going to get. This is not a WYSIWYG. If you want a WYSIWYG, you want to stick with Brizy, you want to stick with Elementor, something. Divi doesn't require you to custom code. This is going to require a little bit of custom coding if you want to build your own blocks. But with that said, I think that if we take and we look at the fact that it doesn't have a header, it's definitely at least a B. It's there to be. I think if there were a few more things there, it could be an A. It's just not there yet. It doesn't have the headers. It needs more options in the options pane, but it's definitely a B. It's a solid B for me. It's a good choice. It's not a bad choice. I don't think you're going to go wrong with that one. That builder is just a really interesting builder. And I plan to do a full review on it, but it's just it's not a bad builder. This is a great builder, and it's pure HTML and CSS. There's a lot of things it does right. I really, really like it, and I can't wait to see how it grows. I definitely think that if Brizy doesn't watch it, this builder could be the next builder that starts coming up behind all of these other builders, because it's definitely going to make a name for itself. And I have a feeling that the team behind it, they're very responsive. They're very, very nice. They're very eager to see things. It's got some some Unsplash photos in here already built in. I mean, there's just so many things this builder does right that I'm just really enjoying what it has to offer, and I think it's only going to get better with time. But, once again, we need to wait and see. I need to see what the header looks like. I need to see if it's going to require me to always use custom strap. Do they develop past that and allow me to use any theme where I can use something as good as Astra and customize that? Those are the type of things we want to see, but we got to see how it works out. Because right now they're only using Bootstrap, so maybe it never gets out of there. And maybe you always have to use that theme. But I think if that theme has enough functionality built into it, then I don't care as long as it's a good, fast theme. And I think that's the thing you need to compare. So to me, like I said, I think it's a solid B. I don't think that it's an A, and I definitely don't think it's an S. But it could be there. It's one of those that could be there. I think that any of these in the top right now could be an S, and they're not there yet. But I think they could be. There's little pushes, little things that they do that could push them into an S, and they're just not there. Before we jump into Oxygen, let's talk about Visual Composer, okay? Visual Composer has been around forever, and it has gone through a lot of different name changes and things like that. Visual Composer, to me, I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't used it since the days of Theme Force, when every freaking theme that you would buy for $50 came with Visual Composer back in the day, and then they changed to WP Bakery because of a name, because of a licensing problem with Theme Force. There were just a bunch of problems that I just did not enjoy with this. But still, there's a number of websites that are using this today, and I think that the interface isn't bad, but I think it could just be so much better. There's just so many things that I just don't like about it. I just don't. I think everybody, when they see Visual Composer, they go, ugh. Like, I don't even think Divi gets as much crap as this does. And look, they're following almost the same exact pricing scheme, at least in terms of websites, as Elementor. I mean, it's a copy and paste. If we take and put these side by side, one website, 3 websites, 1,000 licenses, 3,000. But yet they're double the price. You're not worth double the price. I'm sorry. You're just not. There's no way you're worth double the price. You're just not worth it. I'm sorry. You're just not there. And just because you have a theme builder and a pop-up builder, once again, you can show that off all you want. It's not original or unique. Nothing about Visual Composer is unique. And the only thing that I would think that some people would say is that you have hubs where you can get these additional things, but then those additional things cost additional money, and so I just get a really bad taste in my mouth with Visual Composer. I don't even think it's as good as Thrive Themes. I think it falls somewhere in E or maybe even F. I don't think I could give it a full F. I don't think it's that bad, but God, it's definitely an E. I would pick any other builder over Visual Composer. I think it's just total garbage. I really do. It's not my favorite builder. I don't even want that type of, I don't even want to build a website with it if I have to. I would much rather build a website with everything above here than build a website with this. This would just be a nightmare. It'd be like ripping out my hair, and I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm sure the people behind Visual Composer are very nice, but there's things that they need to do to it to make it better, because people have a bad taste in their mouth from the experience that they've had in the past. And you can say, oh, we've updated and we've done this and we've done that. It doesn't change the fact that I have played with it even today, and it still gives me like PTSD. Like, you literally go into shock after you're like, oh my God, I touched it a long time ago and now I have to go do it again. It's just bad. It's bad. I just can't recommend it to anyone. It's an E. It's a straight E. It's worse. I would much rather use Divi every day than use Visual Composer. It's just an E to me. It's bad. So last on our list is the famed Oxygen. And Oxygen is definitely in the beginning, it started out as a C, and it probably even lost points because there was probably like a year's worth of time where it was like a D because we hadn't heard anything. We had paid for it, and nothing came out, and it was a D. And there were people who were pissed because the first part of Oxygen was not compatible with the second part, and so there was all this confusion and everything. And then when Oxygen 3 came out, it just changed everything. The game changed, everything changed. I understand that some people got frustrated with it, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you have not, there are some reviewers out there, and they're the top spot for Oxygen reviews. They don't know what they're talking about. They haven't used it since version 1, and version 1 is not the same as version 3. I understand you feel burned because there was no upgrade path from version 1 to version 2, but guess what? It's a better product. Today, it's a better product. Oxygen, to me, definitely came up. When they came out with version 3, this thing shot up all the way to like almost, it was probably like an A. At least it was good, because when they came up with all these updates, you have the WooCommerce builder, and I'm not talking about an Elementor level WooCommerce builder. Elementor can play with WooCommerce. Oxygen destroys it. Oxygen, you can customize everything in WooCommerce. You can build that crap from scratch. You can build a page. You can have a product title, a product image, a cart, this, that. I mean, there's so much you can build with it. Then you've got the visual building where it's got a ton of functionality with the compact stuff. It's got the performance. There's no way. It's one of the best performers of page builders. I would think that in competing, it probably Oxygen and probably Live Canvas, although I don't think Live Canvas is as good as Oxygen. I definitely think it's up there because it's so narrowed down in terms of builders. Elementor does a pretty good job, and from what I understand, Beaver Builder is also very good. It's very, very lean, and the rest of them are kind of struggling to get there. But I think that they'll eventually come up because people are interested in speed. They want to see speed with a page builder. If you're not getting speed on your page builder, then you're wasting people's time. But they've got a header footer builder, which is, once again, important. And it's a complete header footer builder, which means you can put anything you want into it. Another thing is Oxygen doesn't use a theme. So guess what? Your theme's turned off right from the start. That's freaking amazing because you don't have to worry about a theme. Some people don't use themes at all because it's completely deleted out of the system. They just delete them. It's just really solid for what you want to do. I would say the biggest problem with Oxygen is that when you're turning it on, it takes some time to get familiar with it. That doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just takes some time. But Oxygen also has this Gutenberg client thing where you can turn your blocks visually. This is the only builder on the market that's got this. It plays with Gutenberg so well, and I have said it once and I'll say it again. Gutenberg is somewhere on this list too because Gutenberg is competing with these builders. So to me, if you're not looking at Gutenberg on this list and thinking that it's not competing with them, you're wrong. Gutenberg is aiming at an S. It's trying to get there. It's trying to become a full theme builder where you can build your headers, your footers, your everything. They're trying to do it. They just haven't gotten there yet. So to me, Oxygen is one of the closest thing, and I think it really fights really, really hard with Elementor. I don't think it's as popular as Elementor, but I know that the people who love Oxygen, they fight for Oxygen tooth and nail over how great it is. And while there's a little bit of bugs that are in there every now and then, they manage to fix them pretty quickly. I know there's some people who have been looking for stuff, but it's got everything. It's got global colors. It's got modal windows. It's got the custom coding that you can build in. It's fast. It's a visual builder. It's got the SEO. It's got everything. I mean, it's really got a lot behind it. It just doesn't have, to me, the thing that's holding it back is, number one, the interface is just ugly. I'm sorry. The Oxygen team knows this. I've said this before. The interface hasn't gotten there yet. If it looked more like this interface, which this is taken from the Oxygen interface, but it's not what it looks like. If you had to play with it, you would see what I mean. Brizy's interface is just so much better when it comes down to it, because it's just not in your face. The way that they do the Brizy thing is you have this little bar and this little bar, and Oxygen doesn't have that. Oxygen is it's just kind of clunky like this. It's more clunky than you would like, but the power's there. The power behind it is there. If you want to take and do something, you want to do it. There's also some issues with search. Like say you want to search headers or footers, it doesn't bring up headers or footers like you'd want it to. I think the search functionality needs to be expanded. If Oxygen had something like Finder, like from Elementor, I think it would be like an S. I think it would have to be an S because it would be so good. I think it needs search functionality. The search functionality needs to get better, and it needs more shareability. That's one thing I give Divi, and I know Brizy's working on it right now. The shareability, and even Elementor's got some shareability. Sharing things in Oxygen is kind of a pain in the butt right now. If you want to share like a website for it, that website has to be live and active. Where in Divi, it's just like a JSON file. And I think that sharing things is so important because we're at an age right now where people want to share their stuff. So if I want to build pages for it, like templates, and I want to sell them, then why shouldn't I be able to do that? And if you're allowing me to share, then you're giving me a place where I can do that. Now, like I said, I think Brizy is working on that. They're trying to find a way to do it. They're trying to find a marketplace. I know Elementor is kind of doing it, and I know some people sell some Elementor stuff, but I think that when you unlock that sharing portion, you're doing yourself more of a favor than you realize. Some people would say, oh, I'm losing market because now people are creating their own custom themes and whatnot. But the fact is, the people who can share stuff, they end up becoming more popular because now you've got all of this back-end stuff that's being shared through third-party sites and people are selling stuff, and it becomes its own ecosystem. That's one of the things that's made Divi so strong, is it has its own ecosystem of things that end up becoming third-party plugins and third-party themes and third-party child themes and everything else that's with it. Divi's ecosystem by far is the best ecosystem that's on the market right now as it stands. Elementor is running second to that, but Divi's ecosystem is, if I had to give their ecosystem, if this was an ecosystem rating, I would say Divi's an S in terms of that. It's got the best ecosystem ever. Elementor is definitely an A. Oxygen, not so much. I mean, you know, they need a better ecosystem, but it's coming. Some of these builders have the ecosystem, and they have the backing from the community where they're getting stuff built and stuff is showing up, and it's just it's becoming phenomenal. But that's my list, guys. You may think that this is, I don't know, maybe this is too conservative. Maybe something should have been an F. Maybe something should have been an S. I don't know, but that's how I feel right now. There's nothing to me that is a solid S. There's nothing to me that is a solid F. And I could expand this in the future to deal with more page builders out there because I know these aren't all of the page builders. And you could probably definitely see some S's or some F's just based upon adding extra page builders. But this is my list right now. This is where it stands. This is how I feel today. Next week, it may change. Next month, it may change. Next year, it may change. You just don't know because the builders keep evolving. And as they keep evolving, we got to remember that when Oxygen first came out, it was like a D. It was a D class. Version 1.0 was D. It was not good, but they saw it through and it became an A. And I think that all of these have the potential to be S's and A's. I think they just need to listen to their community. They need to give them more feedback, and they need to listen to what's going on. Some of these builders have a habit of squelching the community. And when somebody brings up, hey, Elementor is not as good as Oxygen, or Oxygen isn't as good as Elementor, some of these builders will take and instantly delete that comment because they don't want to hear you compare their builder to another builder. And I think that competition is what gives you more functionality, it gives you more expanded options, it just gives you better stuff. So anyway, guys, this is my list. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've ranted long enough. It's how I feel. You can choose whatever you want. If you want to look at any of these builders, I've got my affiliate links down below. If you click on them, I do get a sale for some of them. I don't get a sale for some of them, like Oxygen, Thrive Themes, and Beaver Builder, because I don't use them. But some of the other ones I do get sales for. So if you'd like to support me and you'd like to take and buy a license to them, or you want to try them out, or whatever the case is, please do it. I recommend it for anybody who's running any kind of business, or even if you're just a business site. Some of these are so awesome that you can't overlook them. They're just great. And I hope you guys have liked this. I hope this answers some of your questions about where I stand with some of my builders and what I feel about them. I hope you also realize that just because I gave a builder a B or a C, it doesn't mean that I hate that builder. It means it has potential. There's just something that is holding it back in my eyes, as I've explained before. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash that like button down below if you have, and I hope to see you guys next time.